Hello, everybody. This is Arita, and welcome to Pivoting Pumpkin. I just read an article today that sort of fits into some of the things that I've been doing lately, and actually, it's part of my new journey from California to Atlanta. And this article, if you see me look down a couple of times because I did jot a couple of notes down, is that I don't know. Do you realize that the average person has over 300,000 items in their home? Now, I don't know what all they counted. It could be each fork that you have, each knife, or whatever, but 300,000 items, and that's a lot of items. Most people have so many items if they have a garage that they can't even fit a car in them. More importantly, this article survey that they've done says that 1 out of 10 people have storage units. And it was funny when I read this article because it made me think about the reasons why I sold everything I owned almost during my move here from California. Now, I didn't have a big place. I had an apartment. It was 2.5 bedrooms. It was a garage, living room, dining room, two bathrooms. But it was fully furnished. Two beds, two dressers, all of those things. A washer, dryer that I really it wasn't even 6 months old, and a garage that was full as well. And yes, my car was not in the garage. I didn't have room for it. And it really made me think about where I am today and stuff. And so that's what the title almost is of my little talk today is stuff. And at 74, I start wondering, really and truly, how much stuff do I really need? Now, because I sold almost all of my furniture, well, furniture pieces I did keep a couple of personal items, and I did have things shipped here from San Diego in one of those pod things that is not real big because. Okay, I will admit I had a lot of clothes, even though I sold a lot of clothes, but luggage and some personal items and pictures and things like that. So I did have things shipped here. I also had my car shipped here. The um, the idea was the first thing I was going to drive from California here with my bestie. We were going to drive from California here, take our time, do sightseeing until I took the car to be serviced at the dealership, and they told me they didn't think my 2017 Ford Escape would make it all the way to California. They didn't say it wouldn't, but do I really want to take a chance of stopping in the desert someplace? And so I did have the automobile shipped too. But one thing that I decided not to do was it made no sense in me trying to pack up all the furniture, have it shipped here for a few reasons. First of all, the cost of it. It was expensive enough just to ship the few things that I did here. I would say a total of about with the car probably about $4 or $5,000. So I could only imagine how much it would have cost if I had just like all the furniture. So that was one of the reasons that I did sell what I had so that I wouldn't have to worry about that. The main reason also is I didn't have a place to put it. I'm staying with my cousin, and even though I have an entire lower level of their home, I basically stay in one room. And beyond that, did I really need all that stuff? Now, it's true. I do eventually want to move, get my own place, a very small place, because I have found that I can live in a very, very small place. I just don't need a lot of stuff. I don't want a lot of stuff. I think that if I do purchase anything, of course, it would have to be a new bed and mattress because I'm not staying on anybody's old bed and mattress. But as far as anything else, maybe to go to resale shops or go to flea markets and buy things. Then I have a lot of family members that have stuff that they're trying to get rid of. But the other thing, too, is this. At my age now, my children, one is in his 50s, and I have one that's almost 50. They're boys, or excuse me, they're men. And I know they don't want this stuff. I remember when my mom passed, she had stuff, and we didn't really want the stuff. And I don't want to burden anybody with a lot of stuff when my time comes. And so, downsizing for me at this stage of my life, which I never ever thought that I would do, because I am one that used to love having stuff. I had a pretty nice sized home when I lived in Detroit with lots of stuff. I had a lot of people over, we did a lot of parties, I entertained a lot. But as I've gotten older, I found out this: people don't really entertain at home, at least not the people that I know. They don't entertain like we did back in the 70s and the 80s and 90s when, everyone had a party at home. Nowadays, people go out and, you meet them at a restaurant. There's just not a lot of the visiting at homes, the entertainment that we used to do. We used to have car parties and fish fries and, dancing at home. Those are things of the past. And so, for people my age, or even for younger people, think about this. Think about the thousands of dollars, I do at least, thousands of dollars that you spend putting stuff in storage. And just think of it. When's the last time you even saw that stuff or wanted to use it? And I do know I did have items in storage during many of the moves that I had. I've spent thousands storing things. Then you go back to find out, to change up and figure out what you need, or do you even want it. And then I had a friend one day who told me, I think he did uh, a he analyzed and did a cost breakdown of the money I had spent each year paying for storage because of stuff. So it's just something to think about: is how much stuff do we really need in our lives? I know that I'm just living simply, and that's one of the things that now I'm embracing is simple living. I do have stuff that's sentimental that I'll keep. I have some photos and pictures that I'll always keep. I did downsize on the clothes thing, and I'm not gonna lie, I did have a problem. I used to have a bad clothes problem. I think I mentioned before in the video, you said I have one of my caps on now. Shout out to San Diego State University in San Diego. That's the cap I have on. I used to have a lot of hats, and I had closets full of clothes and just a whole bunch of stuff that I really didn't need. So, just something that was on my mind today that I want to share with you, that yes, when you get to a certain age, or not even a certain age, this could be for any age, sometimes you need to just downsize and figure out, do you really need all that stuff? So that's what was on my mind today. A lot of different things crossed my mind, but that was one after I read that article: 300,000 items. Then what I did really to start just counting the items that I have in my room. And then I stopped counting because it did get kind of crazy. I started counting earrings, which I do have a lot of. As you see, I told you, you will always, always see me in earrings. But just the stuff that I have. And then, just the stuff that I need. So it's just a fun thing for me to talk about today. It was a good day today, and it was something I wanted to share with you because I do read a lot. But thank you. Thank you for joining me on my channel. I hope you subscribe. I hope you stick with me. Maybe like some of the things that I talk about. And there might be some things that you want me to talk about. This is a new journey for me. This is my third video, and I'm getting more and more excited each and every day. So I want you to enjoy the rest of your day. You take good care of yourself. And hey, you'll be seeing the Pivoting Pumpkin again soon. Bye.